See this new business card I got?
Look at that subtle off-white coloring. The tasteful thickness of it. Oh my god, it even has a watermark.
Dickie, are you sweating?
And scene.
Yep, we could be
All
there.
right. Welcome back, everybody. This is the first episode of the movie club. I don't even know what we were calling this.
Call it
I don't know.
Bond's Voice Movie Club.
The VMCs.
The VMCs. That's
The
actually pretty
VMCs.
good.
There we go.
Bond's Movie Club.
There we go. But yeah, we watched American Psycho last week, like we planned on, like I announced in the last episode. I have Michael on again, of course, always down to clown with some videos. We'll definitely get some more people on. We're trying to figure out like scheduling and stuff like that. We're probably going to start recording these on like Saturdays and stuff, maybe Sundays, because more people are off then, and etc. But yeah, we're just going to get into talking about American Psycho. We should start with like something simple. Like, what was your favorite scene from the movie? Mine's literally that watermark. It's the card scene. It's
the watermark scene. The business card scenes are hilarious.
Yeah.
I think my favorite though is just because of the meme, is where he's like, "Why isn't it possible? It's just not." And I don't know. Christian Bale does such a good job.
He is so good at acting.
Every scene with him where he's expressing to someone while trying to like be an alien, but also not pretending not to be an alien kind of person, thing.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Where he's like,
oh yeah, by the way, spoilers.
Oh yeah.
Anybody who hasn't seen American Psycho, even
it came out in
20 years.
What, 2000, 1999, something like that. And there was a book before it, so like.
Yeah, get with the times.
Get with the times, bro.
Which one thing I did want to say is that the director of the movie was a girl. We were talking about it
on the
podcast because we thought the person who wrote the book was a woman, but it was the director of the movie.
That makes more sense.
Some of the subtle differences are,
Okay.
But.
Cool. Yeah, that dude, the fucking card scene. The other one I like a lot is the Willem Dafoe scene's great, especially like when you know the like backstory of them filming it 3 different times and then they just cut it together. He's so good.
Yeah, and it's Willem Dafoe. You tell him to act a certain way, he's gonna act a certain way, and that's what's perfect is just spicing that. That's so good.
It is good.
So good.
I just liked any scene where he, like you said, he like just breaks character and he's like, "I'm gonna fucking murder you, you stupid bitch." And you're like, "Whoa."
You're like, dude,
okay, relax, buddy.
They start the movie like that.
Yeah.
And, our buddies, some of our buddies hadn't seen it, and them watching their reaction, I just remember me watching it for the first time, and I'm like, man, they don't know what they're getting into because they've only seen the Giga Chats,
the memes and stuff.
Whatever, so.
Good stuff. What was your favorite scene?
The what?
Your favorite scene?
Oh, the one where he's talking to the lawyer, where he's like, "It's not possible."
Oh, fair enough.
That's probably my favorite.
But why, you bastard?
It's just not.
Fair enough. I wanted to bring up some of my takes that I thought of while I was at work, and I didn't put in the Discord. I'm gonna go away from the split personality one, but I wanted to talk about the secretary scene because I wanted to.
Which one?
Like the final one, because I wanted to like. I feel like that scene gives so much away, like at the end, because it shows. No, when she's looking at the notebook.
Oh.
Because it's like. Because you guys were saying he's probably killed people, or he might have. Like, I think he maybe have like killed the homeless guy or something like that, stuff like that.
That and some of the hookers.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Christie or whatever.
But some of the ones that were off screen, probably.
Yeah. But I don't know, because like in the book, all the drawings and everything. It just seems like he's literally a psychopath in the book, and he gets all of his frustrations out in the book. But then you go back to the date scene with him and the secretary, and he's like on the verge of finally like doing it, and he says that he's like, "I don't think I could control myself."
Yeah.
So like I don't know if like anything was real, honestly. Like It just
Yeah.
seems, I don't know, because I'm like, maybe he's just like a literal. I'm pretty sure that's a type of schizophrenia where you can actually vividly, like, come up with
Yeah.
scenarios and
Like
stuff like
hallucinating.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
I don't
interesting.
know.
It's hard to. It's just hard with movies like that when you don't have a reliable narrator. That's like the term they use for a lot of movies nowadays. But that was like one of the original, really good showcases of the unreliable narrator
Yeah,
because there's so many little things you see that change from one pan to the next that just don't make sense. Where they're trying to tell you, hey, this guy's not mentally stable, and you're seeing the story through his eyes.
yeah,
So it's like, I mean, I personally think that he killed people. I think that some of the hookers and strippers and stuff like that he was hiring and the escorts that he killed. Um, but the reason that it's such a big deal that he's going to kill his secretary is because he doesn't have any respect. He doesn't really have any respect for women in general,
yeah,
but he has a little bit of respect for his secretary. So he hasn't killed anybody that he saw as a human
hmm
until that scene. I feel like
yeah. Because
even
she
with
like, she's like, he. What does he say? He's like, what are you like wanting to do? And she actually like gives him a thoughtful answer instead of like the hookers being like
yeah, and don't say
nothing.
raising kids or whatever,
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Hmm. So it might be partially because he's not. I mean, he's still a human, even though he says he's emotionless, right? He's still
hmm
got like something in there, but
Yeah.
it's just very, very, very skewed because of his ego. That's why he don't really fit in the same category as a lot of other serial killers because most serial killers are completely without remorse, whereas I wouldn't say he's without remorse. His ego's just so high that it's very, very hard to like get to him on a deeper level, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that actually fractured him a little bit because he's like, oh my god, women can actually think for themselves, and maybe which hurts his ego. So,
Yeah. Fair.
but
Yeah.
no, I think that's an interesting one. It's hard. I think the drawing ones is a good one. I wrote that one down too about the drawings being fantasies because that is a pretty good.
Cause like I don't know what else it would, unless it was
And plus,
like him. But that's like the apartment scene stuff. Like the bodies are missing
mm-hmm.
and stuff.
Oh, this shit's fake.
But I also want to go back to that because
Mm-hmm.
in that scene, the lady goes, "Are you here to see a visitation?" And he's like, "No, like what happened here?" And she's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Don't ever ask that again." And then she said something like along the lines of that, and
Don't ever come here again.
it's
Is what she
something
was
like
saying.
that. So like,
Because she asked if he saw the ad in the New York Times or whatever,
and then she was
I
like,
didn't post the
"There's
ad in
no
there.
ad in the yeah." So it's like, are they covering it up? Like, did he
Well,
know of murders there or something? And then it's like a fabrication in his mind that
mm-hmm.
he knew that place was a place where people had been murdered, stuff like that.
Yeah, which that's interesting too because there's a couple different ways because he could have that could have been where he was hiding like his hooker bodies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what could have happened is the people who actually owned the property found it, got the police involved, right? There's
And
like
just swept it under the rug or
whatever,
something.
or they don't even have to really cover it up. It could have been so long. We don't know the time period of the way to show. It feels like a couple days, right?
Yeah.
But it could be months or even years. So he could have had that as a body disposal for so long, and then went back to it after a year, and they had already done all the stuff the police are going to do. And that lady, knowing what happened there, could have been like, "Oh, well, this guy is coming here because he's the guy." You know what I mean? So, which I think that's pretty much how you would react for the most part if you thought that guy had been the one murdering and putting bodies here. You'd be like, "Oh, just don't come back here," or test them and then say, "Oh, don't come back here," because what are you supposed to say? I mean, just be as calm as possible and say, "Oh, don't,"
Which is fair.
So that's interesting too, because I don't know, it's very hard to pinpoint.
It's like hard to piece it all together, honestly. Like
Mhm.
it's hard to like come down with like an actual dignified answer. I feel like, or not
Yeah,
dignified. What's the word?
I mean,
you know what I mean.
and I think that's good too, because I mean, I watched a couple stuff about the director, and she said that she wanted it to be. She was kind of mad because a lot of people interpreted it that he didn't kill anybody, but she wanted the ending to be more open ended, and most people just interpreted that everything was fake, And most of the time, movies aren't just black and white, right? It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So, but the book thing's really good. It doesn't necessarily dispel all the myths of the murders and stuff, but it would make sense as to why, like the staircase murder, where he drops a chainsaw, like he's aiming a
it was
chainsaw, and it lands inside, right?
like 10 flights of stairs.
Yeah, and that's obviously, and if as if it wasn't enough that it's probably super unlikely to happen. It stabs her in the side, like she dove
Yeah.
off this. So they really were making a point to be like, this can't possibly happen with
She's
with physics
also
work.
running down the hallway, fucking screaming and like
Screaming and
slamming on
everything.
people's doors and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's just, I don't know. Yeah. There's just too many, like, obviously, some of it is psychotically or whatever. But
yeah, he's
then,
not right.
and
He's definitely twisted as fuck.
yeah. That's like, though, I want to say the split personality thing, even though it is like a cop out, it feels like it's shown in the movie. Like in the last scene, like I was talking about with you guys last night, where it's like, I wish I had we shouldn't have got wheat beers. We should have got scotch or something. And then it cuts to him drinking a scotch. I'm like, so is he like all five of these guys in one mind, and he's like just having conversations with himself to like buff his ego and like present himself? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it feels like, honestly, it feels like half the time a lot of the side characters aren't noticed by like the other characters. You know what I mean? Unless they're all intermingling. Like, I don't know.
Well,
It just seems too coincidental.
Because if that's the case too, we can go into talking about the detective too. Because
Yeah.
if that's the case, the detective names all those guys at one point. Oh,
Yeah.
he was here, he was here, he was here. So like there is somebody was saying in the Discord that the detective not being real would make sense, and that's kind of I kind of can see that point of view, mainly because I think the whole premise of the movie itself is that he was like, they said something about his dad owning the company, right?
Yeah,
Like, he
he's the
doesn't have to
CEO
work
of the
there.
company. Yeah.
So he's like that classic 80s 90s, works for a firm, whatever, but he's just like everybody else that works at a firm. Douchebags don't care about anything, and that's why he talks the way that he does around people, because he wants people to notice him
and think he's smart.
see him to stand out.
Yeah.
Or like just all the, and I think that's partially why he's a murderer, because he wants to be so different.
I like what Derek said. He said, "It's a perfect point of view into the sleazy, corrupt, deprived lives of these the rich brokers in the '80s in New York."
Yeah,
which is
and that's exactly, and we just got to see the craziest of the bunch who will do anything to stand out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think partially what would buy into that theory of the detective not being real would be that he wants to get caught. He wants the recognition, like most serial killers and stuff. So
because he mentions three famous serial killers. It's three or two.
Ed Gein.
He mentions Gein. He mentions Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
it's a few, but like,
But that's just
he
it's
wants
just
the
all a
pariah.
combination of that ego.
Yeah.
And that's pretty spot on representation of, I mean, obviously the crazy killings and stuff like that, like whatever, it's definitely exact hyperbole, but it's pretty spot on with the ego that these guys have working in sales or working with an account managing. Like, even in my day-to-day job, these account managers managing big accounts and stuff like that, they have an ego and they expect everything to be done for them,
Yeah.
And that's how it showed in the movies, because in the 80s and 90s that was just,
that's how it went.
That's how it was when were like that. So I think we have a right to talk. We have a duty to talk about Duke's theory.
Yeah, I put that one in. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna break it up too.
Yeah. You can if you want. Go ahead.
Okay, so Duke's saying that the first theory we actually got in the Discord was that Duke thinks Patrick Bateman is like a closeted homosexual, and some of that, it would make kind of sense, but I mean, it's obviously that's like a very, very straightforward point of view, because of the one scene with, I can't remember what Lewis, I think is his name.
I think so, yeah.
But just his disgust and revolt, for that, like, not necessarily, you could see it both ways, but there is, decent evidence to say that he's very, very closeted homosexual, and that's the reason that he's the way that he is, because he thinks that's how a man's supposed to be, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's much validity to it besides
because like there's also like, he's like, I saw you staring at me, but he could also have been like staring at him because he's fantasizing about murdering him, because because like he's fucking his fiance or whatever. So like.
And he calls him a loser. And
like he doesn't
but
like.
That also could.
But it also, my mom always said if they bully you, they like you. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. What else you got? Because I got one more thing. I
Let's
think in that.
see.
Well,
I wanted to
you said
pull
what?
up. Let me see. Let me see.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he said with his OJ Simpson gloves. I didn't even see that. Which is
Oh
true.
yeah,
They were
yeah.
like. I mean, was that around then? No, OJ was like the '80s. I thought.
I mean, they could have done about it.
Foreshadowing away, narcissist, blah, 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 blah. Pressure. I was trying to see what else people said just to make sure I didn't miss anything. No, I don't think so. Go ahead.
Okay. The last thing well, besides rating, we'll do rating at the end. But
Yeah.
the last thing I wanted to talk about was the ending quote of the movie,
Okay.
which I think is a good way to finish it off. I'll just read it first, and then we can talk about it. Um, it starts with basically he's doing a monologue, but the really important part is where he starts with, but even after admitting this, and I have countless times in just about every act I've committed, and coming face to face with these truths, there is no catharsis. I gain no deeper knowledge about myself, no new understanding can be extracted from my telling. And then he says something like, my confession is pointless or meaningless or whatever. And it's like, I think the director did a really good job putting that quote together. First off, that's a pretty like interesting and unique quote. Second off, it's at the end of the movie. It's like a perfect. It almost tells you that's what to me tells the story in a lot of ways,
Mm.
because partially, like he's saying, like I've after admitting this, I have countless times. That kind of confirms to me that in my mind, I'd like to say that the director intended for us to think that he has killed people, and he wants to admit to it so that people, care, give a shit.
Mm.
And he's like coming face to face with these truths. There's no catharsis. Like there's no relaxation. There's no letdown, or there's no owning up to what he's done. Which he's not really worried about the moral consequences, but
Yeah.
the pride of it, like the serial killers.
Yeah.
And he says no gains no deeper knowledge about himself. No new understanding can be. Like he's basically saying that everything he's tried to do is pointless because nobody's even noticed, and they won't even admit to it. Like or say like, oh yeah, I know you did that, or like try to hunt him or whatever. And I think that to me confirms, at least in my mind, a little bit of the theory that he did kill some people, and I think that it's way exaggerated because he wants to think of himself as his ego won't let him think otherwise, but he wants to think of himself as like this big badass serial killer like Ed Gein or Ted
Mm.
Bundy, like well-known household name. But at the same time, he comes to terms with things at the very end and says, "Well, nobody even noticed, so I'll keep doing the evil shit that I do," and that's the end of it. And it's just, I don't know, it's just really interesting. So it's like,
I think that goes into also like the thought of everything was fine until he killed Paul Allen. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Because like he was
yeah. So
killing,
maybe Paul out.
because
Well,
he was killing nobodies, and then
yeah,
I also like in the lawyer scene again. He's like, "Oh, I found your message hilarious." Blah 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 blah. And he's like, "No, like I
mm-hmm.
actually killed Paul Allen," but the lawyer never references like the hookers or like like the 50 other
Yeah,
people.
because they
So
don't care,
yeah, so it's
and it's
like yeah, I don't know.
it's just interesting, and that just tells you that mindset of them guys. Like, I mean, obviously this isn't like a fucking
Well, yeah,
nonfiction, right? But it really represents what those guys were like. They don't give a shit about anybody but themselves and the people that they think are important,
yeah,
you know? And that's like that in high sales now. It's still like that to a degree. Like,
yeah,
they don't give a shit about nothing but their bottom line,
yeah. Who's gonna
you
help
know?
you get to the next spot? Are they actually
Exactly.
gonna be worth it or
But I mean, I
useful?
think it was dope, man. I think
It's definitely
I
a
haven't
good movie.
rewatched it in what? I mean, it's been a couple years for me.
It's been a long time for me, for sure. I think I
Mhm.
watched it in high school. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
probably same.
Yeah. Are we doing out of 5 since
Let's do
Derek
out of
did?
10.
Let's do out of 10. Yeah.
I think five's too hard.
True.
They don't feel right.
Um, mine's like a solid 8.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's not perfect. Because there's like stuff
Mhm.
that, but I don't know if it's just what it was intended to be. But some of the like dialogue is weird between
Yeah.
the characters, and it's like, okay, and some of it's like a slow burn.
Hmm.
I feel like in some spots, it's like,
I definitely agree. It's
yeah,
not captivating the entire. Like it's really good, but it's not
yeah,
captivating the entire time.
because
Like when I watch something like Dune or like
I kept
an
like
action movie or
hovering
whatever.
over to like see how much was left because I was like, okay,
Hmm.
like, come on, like
I think
what?
I'd give it like a. I think I'd go like 7 or 7.5. I think the
Yeah.
movie's pretty good. I just I think the idea of the themes that it plays with in the movie, it does a pretty good job.
Hmm.
I just think that I don't. It's hard to do justice for a book like that because I feel like movies like people don't want to
You
know
only
the end of
have
the movie a lot of the
so,
time,
and you only have
and
so
that
much
yeah.
time. Yeah.
So it's like nothing finite. I think it's a really good movie, and I think everybody should watch it at some point in their life.
It's definitely
You know,
a classic that should be, yeah, it should always be
and Christian
watched.
Bale, you should watch anything that Christian Bale's in.
And Willem
It's
Dafoe.
just
Willem
and Willem
Dafoe's
Dafoe.
in it.
That's what I mean. It's just like reinforces like their
Reese
acting skills.
Witherspoon's in it. If you're into
Yeah,
that, she's his fiance.
yeah, but she doesn't have a super huge role, but
Spoiler
she does
warning:
good.
there's a lot of sex, so don't watch it around your kids.
Yeah, and murder.
And murder, and boobs, lots of boobs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited for next week. Are we gonna? Oh, we don't have. Never mind. We should. What we should do next week is we should put the actual drawing of the movie in the video. With you know what I mean?
In my video, yeah.
Yeah.
And the yeah,
Yeah.
I could do that. I mean, I done it. I did it on there. I just didn't show it.
Oh,
You could
okay.
hear the wheel spin in the background.
You
But
think-
Yeah, I can. Yeah. Hey. Yeah, I'm in the middle. I'm almost done. Give me a second. Uh, but yeah, next week we'll do the drawing and everything.
And if anybody wants to recommend movies, you know, maybe as extracurricular, put it in the comments. You know,
Put it in the comments.
we'll get to it.
We might.
We'll get to it.
We might. Yeah. Just might.
Maybe Discord night.
Off chance.
You know?
You know.
Some weeks we're feeling like watching 5 movies. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Sometimes. You never know. But I mean, if you want to give a sneak peek for your sleeper movie, you can. Mine was Sucker Punch, or it's gonna be Sucker
Okay.
Punch. In the if you've ever watched that,
I
I don't-
honestly haven't really thought about mine yet.
fair enough.
Very much. Because all of my like low key movies I watch are usually like black rights movies.
Yeah.
And, like I'm the only black guy at Discord, so it's like I don't really want to recommend everybody to watch this movie about like Fred Hampton, for example. I
Mhm.
would put the Fred Hampton movie. It's a great movie, but I'm not sure that everybody would be into it.
Fair enough.
So we'll see. I'll pick something out.
Yeah.
Next week I'll get the sneak peek in. Or
Hey, there we go.
2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I gave a preview to what everybody picked in the episode, so
Nice.
whatever you pick, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I have. I gotta call Jerry, or we have. I gotta call Jerry back. She's calling me. She's probably mad. But what else do I have to say? I don't know. Love your loved ones. Crank 90s. Do what you like to do for what you like to
90s.
do.
Inspire 2, baby.
Slay Spider 2. You only got so much time on the earth, I guess, so you might as well just do what you love, right? And, you know, love you guys. I appreciate everybody watching, and, you know, I hope everybody has a great rest of their week. And I will see you guys next week. Appreciate it. Bye.